Yesterday, we saw an upturn in the market. Are we seeing those positive sentiments on the bourse today?
Certainly not, Fenly. After 9 consecutive days of decline halted yesterday, we saw the ASI shed 0.12% to close at 21,483. We think the bear run that began about 11 days ago may have taken hold again. Of the stocks traded, 23 stocks traded higher than yesterday. We had 38 losers and 69 were flatliners. Okay, and generally what we've seen is the bear trend continue at maybe a declined pace. The top gainers we had, interestingly, we had 3 banks. We had FCMB, we had UBA, and we had Guarantee Trust. The top losers, 3 of which were Julius Berger, Chevron, and EcoBank. We think investors are still caught in the hold of caution right now, thinking who's the first to dip in, who's going to get bumped. So what we see is that in the face of very attractive multiples, astute investors are still not taking a plunge, perhaps still waiting for that bottom to come. Hello?
To our viewers out there, we do apologize for the poor sound quality we're facing on this crossing. But Akinwonuola, take us through how you expect, or what you expect to drive sentiments for next week.
We think caution will be the primary sentiment in the market next week. We may see investors come back in, value investors. We may see them come back in, as you would see. The metrics are pretty attractive. You have dividends in the double digits for companies with reputable management. So we would expect value investors to come in. But at what point will your dentists, who are of course are the investor class that you expect to drive a rally extensively, at what point will they come in? We don't see them coming in anytime soon. So while we may see a slight recovery, it may not be long lasting.
And which stocks will you keep an eye on for next week?
You said?
What are your key stock picks for next week?
Key stock picks are, I would be looking at the banking sector. I'm not one to shy away from a little danger, but where you see value, you need to grab it. I think for one, I would be looking at a First Bank. I would be looking at a GT. Yeah, the banking sector would be my own favorite sector right now. I'll be looking at those 2 key stocks in that sector. Fenly?
Well, talking about the banking sector, give us an update on the ongoing reforms that's happening in the sector right now.
Yeah, the reforms, interestingly, the dust raised is still settling. As you're aware, there's all sorts of court cases in the head, all sorts of arrests still happening. But to give you a general feel of it, we think 2 things that the governor aimed to achieve may have been achieved. The stability of the financial sector is assured at this point in time, barring anything dramatic. And when I mean dramatic, I mean an extreme event. Barring an extreme event, we think that stability will remain for some time to come. The lending rate, interbank lending rate, the governor it sees as one of his primary metrics, has been driven down. With respect to his proclaimed aim of enhancing effective transmission of monetary policy, we think that remains to be seen. So what you've seen in the past is the CBN comes up with a new policy, market response in the short term as expected. 2 weeks from then on, market response the opposite way. A conundrum, you may call it. That is something the governor has said he wants to address, and it was one of his key reasons for taking hold of the 5 banks who he believes were distorting the market. So we think, generally speaking, we would say the atmosphere, yes, stability is coming back in, but you still have a lot of court cases that are still stirring uncertainty amongst market players. Fenly?
All right.